Okay, I'd like to reconvene the school board meeting for Tuesday, April 12th for Bronxville. Thanks everybody for joining. This is month 2 of our remote learning environment. And first, let me just say on behalf of the board to the entire school professional team, administration, teachers, clerical staff, everybody, custodial, everybody who's pitching in. You're doing a fantastic job. We couldn't be where we are today without all of the effort and the ability to pivot into a completely new environment. And, I guess welcome to the 21st century. But thanks on behalf of the board and keep it up. We don't know how much longer we have of this. Hopefully we'll be out sooner rather than later, but time will tell, and you're doing a great job. So thanks on behalf of the board for that. Lots of things going on. I guess the public is viewing via YouTube. This is a dynamic environment. We're here to get suggestions and take advice from people who have ideas. I know the administration is looking at things that would normally be coming up in an in-school environment and trying to come up with ways to preserve the spirit and feeling of those activities to the extent we possibly can. That will be an ongoing effort. And again, your input, if you have it, is welcome from the community. So please talk to the relevant folks as you come up with those ideas. With that, I think we need to first, Connie, appoint the district data privacy officer. Is that correct? Connie?
And there's a resolution on the agenda for that.
Okay. So the resolution reads, resolve that this Board of Education approves the appointment of Mr. Brad Ashley as the district's data privacy officer effective immediately. So I'd love to get a motion in support of that resolution.
Motion, Evans.
Second.
And the second is from Jack Beerworth.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, I think Connie would like us to do a roll call vote, so I'll just go through the board for that. So Jack Beerworth.
Yes.
Jen Russo. Might be on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay, Arlene Thomas.
Yes.
Tom Evans.
Yes.
Tom Curran.
Yes.
Mike Finley.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. The next topic is the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve last meeting's minutes?
So moved.
That was Arlene. A second.
Second.
Jack
Jack.
Beerworth.
Okay.
Connie, can I just do a collective vote for this one?
If you don't mind, I can go through. John,
Yes.
Arlene,
Yes.
Jack,
Yep.
Tom,
Yes.
Tom Evans, Tom
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Mike Finley, and Jen.
Yeah.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Dr. Montesano, over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you, albeit virtually. We'll take what we can get these days. Well, before we get into some of the distance learning things and other things that I want on my list, I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge and thank Peggy Williams from the foundation. As you may know, she's officially retired from her duties as the executive director of the Bronxville School Foundation. And she has done a great deal for the school and for us, and most importantly for our kids and our staff. And I think it's I want to take a quick moment to thank her for everything that she did over the many years that she served as a director. It's quite an organization. And the fact that I'm able to sit on that is really a pleasure. And I want to wish Helena McSherry the best moving forward as she takes over for Peggy. So just a quick moment to thank Peggy and wish her well in her retirement. Okay. As I sent out my last letter, as everyone knows, the schools have officially been closed through May 15th by the governor. He extended his executive order. We're all still sorting through that and trying to make our adjustments on our distance learning plans. moving forward. You know, it's been quite a challenge trying to plan and move things forward in great steps when you're not sure if you're going to be in school in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. But this time he closed for an additional month. So it gives us some time to continue to plan and move our distance learning plan forward. And I know the principals and the staff and teachers have been working extremely hard on learning new technologies, seeing what works best with our kids online. We hear from many parents who, as I explained to some, it's that Goldilocks theory of some say it's too much, some say it's not enough, and some think it's just right. So we're hoping that we can do more of the just right stuff to get people aligned with us. But I think overall it's been fairly positive. I know there are many people who would like us to do some more live interaction with the kids, and we're working on that certainly. And we also know that some teachers don't always agree that that's the best way to teach in this environment. We're trying all kinds of different remote learning tools to find out what can work for our kids in order to move the instruction forward in a positive way. But I have asked Mara to provide an update to the board and the public on her conversations with the curriculum leaders and the principals on our distance learning plan as we are moving forward. So Mara, if I can turn it over to you to give a quick update.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Montesano. I want to start also by thanking all of our teachers for their efforts, which were nothing short of miraculous in getting a distance learning program up and running. As stated from the beginning, the goal of our distance learning program is to provide students with connection, a sense of routine and purpose, and to ensure that learning opportunities continue. In addition, a great deal of gratitude is owed to Brad Ashley, who is ensuring our teachers have access to digital.
We just lost Mara.
Oh no, Mara, you went down. We'll wait a quick second. If not, we can pick up the pieces for her.
She's had spotty internet in the meetings I've had with her.
She has.
I think she's stealing from a Starbucks 4 blocks away.
As of this week, our teachers have received extensive.
We lost you, Mara. Just so you know, we lost some of your talk.
Hello.
There you are.
There you are.
I was trying to do it without the video, but
We
let's see
lost
what happens.
Brad Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay, Brad Ashley, daily office hours, extensive professional development in digital tools to develop our capacity to create a multi-dimensional distance learning program. As of this week, our teachers have had PD in the following. For synchronous learning opportunities, our teachers are now what I would call experts in Zoom. Hearing me okay?
Yep. Keep going.
As far as asynchronous opportunities, our teachers have used Screencastify, Google Slides, Khan Academy, and Newsela, which is a database of current events. To encourage interactivity and engagement in distance learning, our teachers have incorporated Padlet, Edpuzzle, and Pear Deck, which allows students to comment and make use of presentations midstream. In terms of assessment, we have utilized such tools as IXL, Big Ideas Math, GimKit, Quizzes, Google Forms, Kahoot, and Quizlet, with an eye on making sure that all of these online assessments are set up in ways to deter cheating. In our elementary school, through the use of Screencastify and Google Slides, our teachers are continuing to provide new instruction as indicated by pacing guides and curriculum timelines through asynchronous learning. They push out daily lessons from the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project curriculum and Singapore Math. Opportunities for social studies lessons are pushed out when appropriate as to not overwhelm students. Special education, including special classes and learning centers, related services, and skills support are also continuing their instruction with students. Fridays focus on special areas, including lessons from PE, music, art, and science. Next steps include more opportunities for synchronous experiences that are currently being piloted through elementary school staples such as Read Aloud and Morning Meeting, a chance for students and teachers to connect and review the expectations of the day. Curriculum leaders in upper elementary are discussing piloting office hours in synchronous form, similar to our special educators, where students can join a Zoom session for questions and support. They are also considering how to support small group instruction through synchronous learning. Also, we are currently discussing how to best provide formative feedback to our elementary students. Currently, elementary teachers are providing weekly, individually written Glow and Grow reports to students in writing and other areas. Support for executive functioning and organization has been provided in the form of checklists and rubrics. Elementary school faculty created a rubric for student use, reminding them to do all parts of the lesson, including watching video and turning in one's assignment when appropriate. As Dr. Montesano shared, we have heard feedback from the amount of learning is overwhelming to it is not enough. And we are currently in the elementary school exploring the balance between asynchronous and synchronous learning opportunities for our youngest students that is both developmentally appropriate and manageable. Our middle school also continues to offer many synchronous learning opportunities with a condensed schedule and assigned work in between periods and days. Additionally, all classes are meeting, including resource rooms, skills, and speech and language support. Middle school is continuing with many clubs and non-academic sessions in order to give students a sense of purpose and connection, including advisory, which is completely synchronous, student government, the sign language club, and the Gallop, the middle school newspaper. There are additional enrichment opportunities, including courses on geography and opportunities to create a middle school podcast. Feedback from parents indicates students are engaged and feel a sense of routine. In terms of next steps, parents have indicated they need more guidance as to how long students should be working after class time has ended. To this end, teachers are going to be placing time markers next to assignments to give parents a general indication as to how long work should take. This is just as important for students who don't know when to stop as it is for students who don't know how to start their work. Time can provide a strong data point when considering how to best support individual students. Parents are encouraged to notify their child's teacher if students are taking much more or much less time to complete an assignment than is indicated. Our high school has been moving forward with many synchronous learning opportunities. Classes meeting regularly include special classes, resource room, and speech and language support. Our teachers of advanced placement courses are relieved that content has been modified. Next week, AP teachers will have an opportunity to preview the new online exams being given at home and are focusing on skills applicable for open book exams, such as outlining and preparing their space at home to take the exam to avoid distraction and internet interruption. We have moved to a pass-fail form of grading in the fourth quarter in both high school and middle school. And it is important to note that many schools are doing this, including well-known independent schools and many local area high schools. Conversations this week included a new approach to final exams in the high school. Given that we are released from Regents exams, Ann and I are encouraging teachers to consider offering a final that differs from a traditional test. Examples include an annotated portfolio of work from the term showcasing your best pieces and those that show the most growth, or a YouTube channel where individual students create videos to teach an important concept in your course. Departments will be considering ideas this week, and we will look at proposals to ensure there's a balance for our students. In high school, the current schedule seems to be a good fit and in line with neighboring districts. Lastly, we are aware that distance learning presents a challenge for all of us, combined with the fact that we are collectively living through a crisis as part of the pandemic epicenter, and we recognize the limitations of our program. We have started discussions this week regarding how gaps in curriculum coverage and learning might be addressed next school year, particularly in disciplines that have a cumulative nature to include, but not limited to, math and foreign language. I'd like to end by saying thank you to all of the principals for their support and leadership, which has been exceptional. We are considering the lessons we can learn through this experience, including what technology we should use more of when we resume, different approaches to assessment, including non-traditional models, and how we might do things differently should we find ourselves in this situation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for putting all that together, but also let you know that we continue to meet as a faculty by the building. Principals review stuff with their teachers all the time, and I happen to be able to sit on a few of those faculty meetings. And I will tell you that the teachers and the administrators are missing our kids desperately at this time. I was in a couple of breakout rooms, and the care and concern on the part of the teachers and how they expressed how much they're missing kids and how they are going out of the way to speak with the kids at night on occasion, to help parents who are now put in roles that they really weren't prepared to do, in addition to everything else a parent has to do. Now they have to be a co-teacher oftentimes. We understand the challenges. We appreciate the patience that parents have shown and the partnership that they have made with us. And I would say that please continue to communicate with us. We love the input. It's very helpful to us to know what's going on at home. And just know that our teachers miss our kids very much. And we'll continue to do what we can to help support that social and emotional side that I know it's taking its toll on families and children in particular. It's not easy for them at all. And we know that we're going to have to do some catch up stuff when we hopefully all get back in again. So just again, a shout out to the teachers and everybody, because we are in this together. We'll get through it together. And we miss everybody together. So it's nice to be a part of this community and to be able to say that. Okay, what I'd like to do, John, if you're okay with this, I'd like to move on to the tenure candidates.
Great, sounds good.
We have, we're very fortunate tonight to have 6 tenure candidates on the agenda for the board's view, and I'll turn it over to Rachel to introduce that.
Thank you, Roy. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you, albeit virtually. This is certainly the highlight of our year, when we have the opportunity to put forth tenure candidates before the Board of Education. This is a cohort of 6 incredibly gifted educators. I will ask the principals to speak about each of them to give you an idea in the community how fortunate we are to have them. So why don't we start with you, Tricia, in elementary?
Sure. Hello, good evening. I'm very pleased and honored that I get to present Anthony Vaglica for tenure this evening. Anthony's really an outstanding educator. We've really benefited from him being with us for the past 4 years, and I know we will for the years to come. His instruction is very highly effective. He knows how to coach kids. He knows how to help them feel successful and works them towards that success. He's also very highly collaborative. He played an integral role in our physical education department. As he teaches courses from kindergarten through 5th grade. He collaborates with the other PE teachers. And he's been very innovative in helping to redesign that program, which has also been really beneficial for kids. And Anthony also, we also benefit from his involvement in our larger school community and his work with the Athletic Council and with Basque. So it's my pleasure to recommend him this evening for tenure. We're really fortunate to have him. And then the next tenure candidate I have is Jeanine Scamaz. She teaches kindergarten learning center and skills across several grade levels. So Jeanine was formerly was a general education teacher, and now she's in our special education department. And just as an amazing job that she did with our gen ed kids, she's doing with our special education students. And this is really due to her ability to know kids well and her flexibility. So she knows, depending on whatever they need, she makes whatever adjustments necessary and just relates so well to kids that it works. And she's also been a wonderful addition to our special education department and has made a lot of contributions around our different processes and structures that we have. She's made a lot of contributions in terms of helping us with our response to intervention committee, and she's able to really come up with that one intervention to target a student's need. So we're really fortunate to have her be part of our special education department now. And then Jessica Clark, another special education teacher. She teaches 5th grade learning center and also skills across a few different grade levels. Jessica relates so well to her students. She has a deep sense of social emotional development and can know exactly the right thing to say to a kid to move them on to the next step. She creates a really warm and inviting classroom, and she's also played a really large role in our response to intervention committee. And she's also been a real leader in terms of our work around diversity and equity and inclusion, and has really helped help focus that committee and put us in a nice direction. So she's just an amazing teacher. People love to collaborate with her, and she just strengthens the overall team, both her special education department and her 5th grade team. And then last but certainly not least, we have Alexa Vafedes. She's a kindergarten 1st and 2nd grade special class teacher. So she teaches our youngest students with disabilities that really require significant and intense intervention. Alexa's just really, you go into her classroom and there's just so much joy. She creates just the happiest environment for these kids. And she is an expert in managing behaviors, making little tweaks for kids that really are so helpful. She puts these complex schedules together for them that they wouldn't be successful without. Alexa also works so closely with families and really helps them see that they're part of their kids' education too. So just really 4 outstanding teachers. I'm just so honored to be able to present them to you this evening.
Thank you, Tricia. Tom, you have one candidate?
I do, Rachel. I'm pleased to recommend Alyssa Diaguardi for consideration as a tenure candidate in English. Alyssa came to us from a charter school in the Bronx, where she was the English department chair. And even upon meeting Alyssa, we all knew that we were in for a treat. As we were interviewing Alyssa, she was interviewing us. She wasn't going to come to a school just because it was a Westchester school. She wanted to make sure that she could add value to the place that she was coming, and she certainly has. She questioned us deeply about the Bronxville Promise, about what her role would be in responding to and answering for the promise. And she has tirelessly looked for ways for the promise to be a central part of what she does in her classroom. Alyssa has revamped the curriculum in 8th grade almost single-handedly with some certainly some help from colleagues each year, but as the person of record who teaches all 8th grade classes, she certainly has done the most heavy lifting. She has infused new literature. She has questioned some of our older choices. She has given our kids experiences connecting what they learn in school with cultural happenings in New York. Our students for 2 years in a row have gone to see To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway, something that she has gotten us deeply discounted student tickets. And because our kids were so good, we were invited back by the producers. But it's Alyssa's tireless effort that makes it happen. Additionally, she resurrected the middle school newspaper, something that lay dormant in the roster. And not only has she brought the Gallup to life, but she has expanded its influence, and she's actually taken on another staff member and shared the responsibility and shared the work. But that's part of Alyssa's magnetic charm. She brings everybody into the conversation, and everybody has something to add to the party already in progress. Alyssa has been a critic and a strong advocate for all new manner of curriculum design in middle school. She has worked closely with our trainers from Teachers College. She's championed the work of Kate Roberts, but she's also asked us to look at hard questions. And I appreciate that role that she plays with us. And I like having academics on staff who aren't afraid to ask hard questions and to look for permutations and answers that may not be the most linear or visible. In Alyssa DiAguardi, I think we have a strong teacher who will hopefully continue to grow and deepen her skill set. And it is without reservation and with tremendous good wishes that I recommend her to you this evening for consideration for tenure.
Thank you, Tom. And Anne, you have one candidate, Rob Cross.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present to you Rob Cross as a candidate for tenure. Rob is a tremendous asset in the high school. He is a phenomenal teacher. He has really powerful lessons that are very carefully planned. He's knowledgeable, he's thoughtful, he's very smart, and I think probably most importantly, cares deeply about his students. There is a level of respect that he has for his students that is also his students have for him, that is very visible in his classroom. He's constantly asking students for feedback on how things went, how assignments went, how projects went, and how they can go better and more smoothly and more effectively. He has incorporated very powerful new instructional units, including the college essay unit that is modeled off of the Teachers College unit, where our juniors are all given the opportunity, the juniors in his AP English language course, as well as the juniors in English 11 that Mr. D'Alessandro teaches. But Rob's students develop a variety of college essay vignettes. And we've actually heard feedback from admissions officers that some of those college essays that have been developed have been some of the best essays they've read that year in the admissions process. He also stepped into the role of the teacher of acting and directing upon Peter Royal's retirement and has brought a very thoughtful academic approach to that, but also very project-based, makes the classes engaging, and also is the producer of our fall play now the last 2 years. Those have been wonderful productions, and we've gotten more and more students involved in the fall play. Rob also, through a foundation grant, was able to found a thespian society this year to further support our students who are interested in acting and theatrical productions. And so he's able to foster a love of theater in those students and build their skills. And finally, he serves as our English department leader, where he's done a really tremendous job bridging the middle school curriculum, which has been guided by Teachers College, into the high school, and really connecting those 8th to 9th grade and building upon it. So I'm thrilled to present him to you as a candidate for tenure this evening.
Thank you, Ann, Tom, and Tricia. So the board has before you 6 resolutions for our 6 tenure candidates this evening.
Thank you to the principals and Dr. Kelly for that background and presentation of the tenure candidates. Fellow board members, we have a resolution A through F in front of us. Connie, can we take them together?
We can take them together. We'll just do a roll call at the end.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the teacher tenure recommendations that have been presented?
Move. So moved.
So who, let's say
That was
Tom Curran was first, and then,
Second.
okay, Mike Finley. was-
That's Mike Finley.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. So John,
yes, approve.
Arlene,
Approved.
Jack,
Jack, you're on mute. Keep
Yes.
going. Okay, great.
Tom Curran,
Yes.
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
and Jen Russo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, folks. I'm sorry we can't be there in person to congratulate you, but this is a big accomplishment, and we're very happy to have you on the team. So,
Great job, everybody.
Impressive group.
Great, thank
um,
John, if I could just do one last thing as part of my report.
sure.
Thank you. The last thing I just wanted to mention to everyone is, as I stated earlier, we know we'll be closed through May 15th. After that, it's anyone's guess, but I do want everyone to know that we are currently working on contingency plans in the event that we are able to re-enter the schools. We have a lot of things to consider logistics-wise and how we keep everyone safe. So we're currently looking at a lot of those items. And we're also looking at end of the year activities. We know that that's an important piece of student life, and that we want to ensure that our students get a good experience before, particularly our seniors, before they leave the Bronxville school. So we're doing everything we can to come up with thoughts, ideas, contingency models to make sure that there's some great experience, whether that means a different type of graduation in person at the end of June, one in July, one in August. We'll figure it out and we'll get it done. Whether that means a different form of senior week starting, whether that means a different style of baccalaureate than what we've been used to. I know that Ann Meyer is working very hard with various parent groups and students in particular to find out and to determine what we can do together and what ideas we have. So I know parents have emailed me with some thoughts and ideas, and we welcome those. But we're not going to give up on this, folks. We're going to make sure that we can make the end of the year a positive experience for our kids. So we don't know the answers yet, but we do know the questions, and we'll figure out the answers as we go forward. So hang with us and you'll hear more to come. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Roy. Rachel, I think we're back to you for the superintendent's report.
Yes. There are a number of resolutions. 4 of them involve both our professional staff who took the leave as well as the leave replacements. As you recall, we ended up being in session for a portion of the spring break, and therefore their leaves and leave replacements need to be revised to include those school days. In addition, we have 2 resignations that we were able to discuss in executive session, as well as a new hire for the fall, which is very hopeful and encouraging in our high school. He has expertise in physics, in engineering, as well as in some computer science. So he's going to be a tremendous asset to our high school program. That is Kevin Guidell. I just want to point out to you in Resolution G, the second leave replacement, Gina Pearl. In the initial agenda, I had neglected to put the 80 cents at the end of her salary. So the salary should read $23,108.80. That's in your most current agenda. And then my last 2 items involve memorandums of agreement between the district and the BTA, the Bronxville Teacher Association. One is specific to our current situation and the need to have gone remotely in our instruction. And so we entered into negotiations, which resulted in this side letter. Probably the most critical portion of this is that APPR, their evaluations, which has come down from the state as well, will not be based on their remote instruction. And then we have a second side agreement that is specific to an employee in the district to help ensure that he can play a dual role to meet a specific child's needs. So you have A through I before you.
Thank you, Rachel. Can I get firstly a motion to approve resolutions A through I as discussed?
I'll make a motion.
Tom
Second.
Evans, thank you. A second from
Jack.
Jack. Okay. Any questions or comments? First, just before we move off of this, I would like to express on behalf of the board and the school appreciation to Mr. Diefenbach and Mr. Wofsy for their work at the school. Anything else? Great. Connie, you want to go through the
Yeah.
roll call?
John,
Yes, approve.
Arlene,
Approve.
Jack,
Yes.
Tom Curran,
Yes.
Tom Evans,
Yes.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
and Jen Russo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dan, I think we're moving to you next, I believe, right?
Yes.
Great. Take it away.
The board has a preliminary summary of where we stand financially through the month of February. We're tracking at probably close to a $900,000 surplus at the moment. And I think that's a fairly accurate number, may edge a little higher towards the end of the year. We're seeing significant savings regarding the current shutdown in electricity and gas. Also, we're operating with fewer security guards and a few fewer cleaners at night. We do continue to clean the building on a daily basis. I'm in there at least 3 days a week, and the place is looking pristine. So we're keeping that up. And we anticipate ending the year in a very good financial position with flexibility going into next year, which is giving us a lot of uncertainty at this point. Be happy to entertain any questions.
I guess, Dan, just for the benefit of folks watching and who don't pay as close attention as you do, can you just describe the state of play with the governor and potential impact to state aid next year, given, I know there's uncertainty, but just what the latest is?
Yeah, that's the most uncertainty is state aid. We've been told to expect possibly a $40,000 deduction off the top, which, we have flexibility to deal with that. If no further stimulus comes through the state from Washington, we are told to expect as much as 20% and maybe a little higher, which to us means about $500,000. Again, this is all up in the air. So the board adopted our preliminary budget last month. The finance committee met last week and went over scenarios to make up any shortfalls, and we think we have a very good plan. We're going forward with the adopted budget as is, which is, I think, a 0.88% tax levy increase, which is over 2% under what our cap is for next year. So, we're being very prudent in that respect and ready to address whatever uncertainty comes our way next year.
Great, thank you. Do you want to move to the, any other questions for Dan about the financial report?
Yeah, Dan, you're going to reach out to your colleagues at the village, right, to try to address some of the other uncertainty, such the village's financial condition going forward, and the extent to which, if any, there might be impact on the village's funding of our operations next year, right?
Absolutely. I've been talking to Jim Palmer all week, last week and this week, and we're trying to figure out how to get tax bills issued, because we're in a unique situation in the state, and then our village and school tax bills are issued at the same time together. Many other school districts issue their own bills, and ours are going to be at least 2 or 3 weeks later than they have been in the past, since the budget vote date in the state was put off until June 2nd at this point, and it may still be put off. So we're working with the village to come up with a tax collection plan.
Okay, any other questions for Dan? Great, I guess there's some financial action items. You want to take us
We
through
do.
those?
We have some action items. First one is for our insurance consultant. Looking forward, this will be our first year we go out to negotiate specifically for flood insurance with a hookup to Meadow Avenue. We've had 3 or 4 incidents that, we at least would have flooded parking lots, and we've had nothing. Would have had flooded parking lots in the past, and pumps were going. They were going. I don't know if they went off today, but they went off last week. Handled a lot of rain we got one day, no problem. So we're gonna hopefully they'll be able to work their magic with flood insurance and see some premium relief. So that's we hope to engage these guys at least for another year. We have an installment purchase agreement, our annual technology buy with Southern Westchester Boces. These purchases are aided, and they result in us being able to keep our replacement cycle intact, which is even more important now that we're sent a lot of Chromebooks home with students that I heard from Brad that a few of them are turning them in. We're having to replace a few of them that are wearing out, but that's good news, I guess. They're being used. And then let's see, IPA resolution. That's it. Those two.
A and B.
A and B.
Okay, so we have in front of us 2 resolutions, one with regard to the appointment of the insurance and risk management service provider with a corollary to authorize, I guess, me to execute any documents necessary to effectuate that agreement, and then the IPA installment purchase agreement. Dan, both of these are very similar and consistent with what we've done in the past several years, right?
They're exactly the same as the prior year.
Okay, including the rate on the insurance company advisor?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve resolutions A and B?
So moved. Second.
Arlene and Jen, I believe that was.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, Connie, take it away.
John,
Yes.
Arlene,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Tom Curran,
Yes.
Tom Evans,
Yes.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
Jen Russo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan.
This is also the annual meeting where we have to vote on the Boces administrative and capital budgets. I gave the board a summary in the past. The board has looked at Boces to have similar budget changes as to what we are experiencing. This year, the total is up about 2.33% overall. And since our enrollment didn't drop as much as basically the overall enrollment in Westchester County, our share of that is up a couple of basis points above that to 2.53%. The way this works is that all the component districts vote on the Boces budget. And if a majority of the component districts pass that budget, they get the increase they're looking for. If the majority of the districts reject that budget, they are limited to the prior year budget. And their costs in the past and this year as well are mostly driven by retiree benefits. Seems they've had a tough handle keeping hold on those increases in the at least the last 5 years. But this is in that category, the lowest increase they've seen in the last 5 years, in all categories, actually.
Okay, there's a second piece to this, which is, I guess, the member elections, but why don't we do this one first? Does anybody have any questions for Dan around the Boces budget, which I believe was distributed to us previously?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the Southwest Boces administrative budget for 2020-21?
So moved.
Mike Finley, thank you.
Second.
Jack. Any discussion or further questions? Okay, Connie?
John,
Approve?
Arlene,
Approve.
Jack,
Yes.
Tom Curran.
Yeah.
Was that yes?
Yeah.
Tom Evans,
Approved.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
and Jen Russo.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next topic, I guess, is the members election. I think their bios were distributed to us as well previously. So unless anybody has any questions on that, I'll go ahead and take a motion to approve item B, which is a vote on the trustee 2020 election. There are I believe two candidates.
So moved.
Thanks, Arlene.
Second.
I think Jen beat the one to the punch. So Connie, go ahead.
Okay. John,
Yes.
Arlene,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Tom Curran,
Yep.
Tom Evans,
Yes.
Mike Finley,
Yes.
and Jen.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Dan, back to you on facilities.
Sure. As I mentioned before, one of the probably the only silver lining in what we're all experiencing at the moment is that construction crews, with social distancing protocols, have had the run of the building. We've had construction proceeding in areas not anticipated to be hit until the summer, such as the cafeteria, the front steps now, and obviously the courtyard is proceeding along as well. If the governor ever did shut down, we work on an immediate plan for teachers to be able to vacate their classrooms so that we could work on the curtain wall as well. We do have a plan in place to give us at least 2.5 full months to do the curtain wall. Any extra time would certainly be appreciated. And construction has also commenced on the Innovation Center in the old boiler room. So, it's moving along at a good pace. And knock on wood, the volume of change orders has been low so far. So I think our construction managers and our architects are doing a good oversight job as well.
And we don't have any action items on this, do we?
No action items.
So just again, on behalf of the board, I would like to thank the Facilities Committee and the members of that for their help and guidance. I think particularly Tom Curran, who's been providing some advice with regard to how to proceed during this uncertain time from a regulatory standpoint. So thank you for that. Moving on to committee reports. Connie, where are we doing the public? That's coming later. Okay. Any committee reports from the rest of the board?
We will probably be looking to do an audit committee meeting next week when we get the updated risk assessment from Dave Moran. I was hoping to have it in time for this meeting, but have not received it yet.
Okay.
We had a finance committee, but Dan's really talked about what we really discussed, which was the budget and how we were doing against budget this year. So it's already been discussed.
Okay, thank you. Action calendar, Connie, our next regular scheduled meeting is May 7th. Is that correct?
Correct. Originally, we had the budget hearing scheduled for that meeting, but that will be postponed pending the date of the rescheduled annual budget vote and board election.
Okay. Before I go to the public section, any other comments or agenda items from the other members of the board?
Can I make a quick comment?
Sure.
I just wanted to mention, as I put on my other hat, my favorite hat, our BOLD Council, our Bronxville Organization for Learning Differences, is hosting a council meeting tomorrow evening. And that will give us an opportunity to talk about how we are supporting our students with learning differences through this uncharted waters and remote learning. So that's an opportunity. Roy will make some remarks, I will as well, and then we'll have some special education faculty there to talk about how we're presenting instruction as best we can for our students. So if you have nothing to do tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., I believe Margaret Major and Leah Gravier, the co-chairs, sent out a Zoom link.
Thank you. And I meant to ask this earlier. Dan, can you just give us two minutes on the cafeteria RFP that we all thought was going to be going out in the spring? I think you've deferred that, right?
Well, we can't really defer it. We have to be ready for the fall. I have a Zoom meeting with our consultant and some concerned members of the community where we're going to review bid specs and a timeline for getting the bid done, most likely over the summer. But we received a sample set of bid specifications today that we're going to review on Thursday.
Okay. Connie, do we have any questions from the public for you via the YouTube link?
Yes, let me just check that. Hold on. I don't see any.
Okay. Not the easiest format to take public.
Let me just check my email. Nothing on email either.
Okay. Well, once again, thanks everybody for all of your effort and hard work during this time. Keep it up. Appreciate it. And please pass on our appreciation to the entire school team. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Moved.
Thanks, Tom. Second from Jack. Okay. All in
John?
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Arlene, Jack,
Aye.
Tom Curran,
Aye.
Tom Evans,
Aye.
Mike Finley,
Aye.
and Jen Russo.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Connie. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Stay safe.